Hello. Yeah, I haven't had a video in quite a while. Yeah, I've been like sick. I mean, I had a video up since Christmas, but yeah, I've been like coming down with something. A lot of people's been coming down with something, but yeah, I don't know if you've any of you watched some of my videos, but at the end I put like, buy my book, Spirits of the Darkness. Yeah, I wrote a book. It took me about maybe a year to write. It took me like 10 years of planning, and I wrote it, and I just put it away for some reason. Like after I didn't bother with it. I went on to other things. I was probably making like YouTube videos or something. I don't know. So then a year later, I read the book. I read it off on my computer. I'm like, wow, it'd be a crime not to bring this one out. So I was like, well, let me try to get this out. So, yeah, my dad helped me get an agent, and she helped me find a publisher. It went through Alpha Wolf, but then they got bought out by Solstice, and now it's on Amazon.com, the Kindle version, and you can buy it as a book. The Kindle version is like $4, so if you have a Kindle, it's a lot cheaper on Kindle. But on the book version, I believe it's like $17. It's on sale, I think. But yeah, it's right here. Here's how the book. It's pretty freaking big, like whoa, yeah. But it's like a pretty big book too. I'm surprised I wrote this much. I tell you what it was a little bit about. It was about a kid named Sinclair, which is also named Sin when he goes to this other world. He talks to these ghosts with his digital recorder, and they really want him to find something called the Satra, but he's like 9 years old. How the heck is he supposed to find it? It's supposed to be in like South America in a place called the Temple of Islabak. So he finds this archaeologist, aviator slash archaeologist, who's supposed to be really renowned. His name is Lance Cobblestone, and that's his ticket to going to South America. He finds him at a museum, and he tries to convince him, but for a 9-year-old trying to convince an adult that they know how to find something that he can't find, this fabled artifact called the Satra that he's been looking for all his life, starting to believe it doesn't even exist, and here comes this 9-year-old saying, I can help you find it. Reluctantly, he invites him along with his older friend Matt, who wanted to be a chaperone for this trip. So they go to South America, and eventually he finds this temple. Well, he brings along these guys, like he has like these investors along with him, and because he can't really fund the trip himself, which kind of tells you maybe this Lance Cobblestone character not exactly a rich guy. He has to bring along these investors who kind of believe in him. But on the way, he also brings this friend of his, Coral Desmond, and a game hunter named Solomon Akeem. So he brings them along. And of course, like some of them were just making fun of this kid trying to find this Satra, but he just ignores them, and really it builds up to one of my favorite scenes in the book. I know I'm probably revealing a lot. I'm not going to reveal too much, like the ending or anything like that. There's actually some big plot twists in there, which I would never tell anyone. Read the book, you'll find it. There's a lot of stuff in there I try to keep secret. I don't want people to know about it. Read the book and find out, But I'll tell stuff that I would, that won't spoil the book, But like, it builds up to one of my favorite scenes, because like this one part, he goes through this wall, like this vine that has like this kind of like an alleyway, that goes to the other side. They go over there, and like they see like this, what looks to be like a temple, but this Coral Desmond guy is supposed to be like this big expert on the Temple of Islabuk. Like, he studied it and he knows a lot about South America and all that stuff. And the only thing that they find down, they don't see anything to go inside, but they find like this mirror, and that's about it. You know, there's this mirror that's implanted on it. You can't even take it with you. So they start going after this kid about that. Like, you know, you wasted our time on this trip. And he just hated these guys. He starts going off on them. And then Lance just steps in, you know, and he's like, you enjoy the trip, you know, and, you know, enjoy the free trip and all that stuff. And, you know, and pretty much telling him, you know, this is a waste of our time. I'm starting to become a believer now, thanks to you, that this thing doesn't exist. And you opened my eyes, you know. And it just made the kid just feel even worse. But yeah, eventually he goes into the temple, and then he goes to like these different worlds, and they're really cool. I mean, I really thought that out, like these worlds, to make them all make sense. Because when I first developed like this story, I was thinking about all these different worlds that this kid can go to. Essentially, these different worlds are, they're like the what ifs, you know, like what if life was like this way, you know? And it's like a parallel world, you know, like these worlds have to exist to make up our own. It's almost like, you know, God making these worlds. Well, I screwed up. Let's go on to the next one. These worlds are like different parallel universes of our own. You know, they have like a little twist to them, you know, and just, you know, different things like that. Like one of the ones that he goes to, well, there's a couple of them, you know, like he goes to like this one world where everything's kind of frozen over, and the only way to, like these people are like frozen, like in this little cottage thing, but there's this little girl that like drew up like a picture of like a boy in a bandana that would fall through the roof and save them. And the main character has a bandana and he fell through the roof. So these people are convinced that this is their savior that's going to like light up the sun. Yeah, they want him to light up the sun to give them warmth. He thought that was kind of crazy too. And the only way to light up the sun is this talisman called the Talisman of All Talismans that was in like this frozen horse, you know, like this one called the Ice Stallion. It's like a horse made up of ice, but it's like a regular old horse like any other horse. So he goes out in this really cold weather, I mean frigid, like this, it can, like the guy that sent him out there said, hey, it could be like, it can freeze alcohol in a bottle. That's how freaking cold it is. You know, don't cry or anything like that because it will freeze right to the pores, and keep moving, you know. So it just makes this situation even worse. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. But there's a lot of stuff kind of like that into the book where he goes in these different worlds, and there's a point to him when he goes in there. He also goes to the spirit world, which like a spirit temple where they get people ready to go out and be alive, essentially. And it's where we all kind of start out, and then yeah, which I thought that idea was cool, especially the characters he meets. He meets this guardian angel named Harlem, and this girl Lena who died from the lair of the cheetah spider, which is like another one of my favorite scenes in the book when he goes in the lair of the cheetah spider. I freaking hate spiders, so I had to write something like that. But they're like these giant spiders with cheetah fur that can run really fast, like a cheetah, lightning speed, you know. But yeah, there's moments like that. I mean, it's kind of, a lot of people ask me if this is like a horror book. I get that a lot. I guess Spirits of the Darkness is a little misleading because you kind of think that this is going to be like a horror book. Is it going to scare me? No, I wrote it, so you probably won't be scared. But no, it's more like a fantasy type of deal. To tell you the truth, Neverending Story was kind of like my inspiration writing it. There's a lot of inspiration from that. It's not really as obvious, but like for instance, when there's this one scene where he was talking to the main kid, the Sinclair Sin. He's on this cloud, like hovering over the earth, and like there's this cloud like forming in front of him, and it forms like this old man's face, and every time he talks there's like this thunder that's booming, you know, every time he talks. And that was kind of taken from Neverending Story. And it was never on Neverending Story. It's mostly taken at a part where Atreyu was talking to like that big turtle head, It was kind of loosely based on that in a way. It was kind of inspired, but I just wanted to take stuff from like kind of like George Lucas did with Star Wars. He kind of took stuff that he grew up with and put it onto Star Wars, and it worked. So that's kind of like how I did on this one. But yeah, now I'm going through book signings and trying to get people to promote it and all that stuff. Really trying to get it out there. I figure the month of January and on, I'm going to try to get this book out. If I have to travel, I will. So, yeah. Spirits of the Darkness. It's on Amazon.com. Yeah, give it, hopefully you'll be interested in buying it. I really think that the world should really check this out. If I wouldn't try to get it published, like if I wrote something like really crappy, I'd be embarrassed to have it out. But I mean, there's no real violence in it. There's really no swearing or anything like that. It's sort of geared toward kids and up type of deal. But it's like for everyone to enjoy it. It doesn't really dumb down its audience. It's like it has a kind of a complex story in it, but it's easy to follow. I try to keep it simplified so no one gets lost. I don't want people reading it and be like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's not like that. I don't try to get complex. I don't even try to make myself more intelligent than what I am. It's pretty much straightforward. It's basically to enhance the person's imagination. That's its purpose, to expand the imagination of what is. I'm not preaching nothing. I hope people don't look at it and think I'm trying to preach like my beliefs and whatever. Like I have some kind of religious belief on here. Please don't make this into some kind of religious book or something. It's not. My whole purpose on writing it is that to get people to think about life, the what ifs of life, and there is something beyond everything. It's even talked about it into the book. Like this one here, he goes to the house of the angry man, and like there's things beyond life that we don't think about. We keep going through the routine of life, and we don't really think about the intricacies of like the human body. We don't really need to heal ourselves. We get sick, we get better. We don't have to, but it just does. How the body works and how it's so meticulous, and it's actually a pretty amazing thing if you think about it. Where does like the water come from? Where a lot of things come from, and so it gets kind of like a deeper thinking into stuff. So, but I think it's really good, especially the plot twist, and especially towards the end. Yeah, holy crap! I really like how the thing wraps up. So, yeah, check it out. Amazon.com. Spirits of the Darkness. It looks like this. Yeah, and under Michael S. Fields, Spirits of the Darkness. So, yeah, I will be on book tours. I'll update on that, and I'll have a book trailer out for it to give people more of an idea. So, and I'm just going to come up with a whole bunch of things to get it out there. So, yeah, Spirits of the Darkness, check it out.